This is the Evil Never Dies podcast with Brett and Carl. This podcast may contain adult themes, violence, and strong language. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome back to the Evil Never Dies podcast, episode 310. Wow, 310 already.
Well, we're going to have to do something special for 313.
313
Yeah.
and 333.
Yeah, that's half evil, 333.
Yeah, I've had some evil going on around here.
I remember was it last week? I couldn't find the Blu-ray. No, it was the week before last.
Was it? Yeah. Well, like we were talking before we started here, I had two light fixtures burn out on me. And then when I was getting ready, my monitors just decided to basically fall forward on me.
That's weird.
I don't know what's going on. I'm just sitting here. I don't know if it's because I got this new monitor clip for my phone to use as my camera, and I don't know if I loosened stuff up when I was putting that on there or what, but
Hey, you're actually looking at the camera this time.
yeah, I am, ain't I?
That is the biggest complaint I get, is that Brett never looks at the camera. Maybe it's because I make an attempt to look at the camera.
Well, I now that I got this clip, I can move it anywhere I want.
You can kind of, yeah. Well, shit, the first 2 years that we did this, I don't think I ever looked at the camera once. And I've been on TV before. I know better.
So
We're getting better after however many years.
Almost 4. It would be 4 this year. Yeah, it'll be 4 this July. Starting our
4.
starting our 5th season in July.
And we'll be spending the 5th anniversary at the Texas Hunters Convention. We're official.
Well, it's at the end of the month this year, so.
Oh, did they move it?
Yeah, it's like the last week in July now.
I had to mix some stuff here, so I got my spoon.
What are you mixing?
That right there.
Oh, I'm not drinking tonight.
I just needed something.
I'm not drinking tonight. I got basketball. Juliet's first basketball games tomorrow, so.
Well, I've got
I'm
little
excited.
Maddie coming tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
This will be her first solo weekend without the other two, or one of the other two around.
Well, that's good. You going to the Rangers thing tomorrow still?
I doubt it.
Gotcha. That'd sort of be cool, though.
So this week we're doing a movie that Brett's never seen before for some reason.
Never seen it. Well, when it came out, I was in the Army, so didn't see too many movies during that time of my life. So, yeah.
Well, it was sort of a box office flop, and it became a cult classic.
Maybe that's why, too.
Yeah.
So.
And it is The Monster Squad.
Yes, it is. Monster Squad.
The Monster Squad.
The Monster. Yeah, there
if you put Monster Squad in, you're going to get that TV show that you were complaining about.
Yeah, I know.
So you got to call it The Monster Squad.
That was the dumbest thing. I clicked on it to see what it was about. It was on Tubi or some shit.
Yeah.
It's dumb as shit. It's got Gopher from the fucking Love Boat on it.
Yeah, so
it was
this
like
is not Monster Squad. It's that way you won't confuse the two.
It was like a Saturday afternoon thing or Saturday morning show that was on in like 1976. I think they only did 1 season of it. So
I'm cold. I've got a Ouija board blanket with me tonight.
It was nice today, but it's gonna drop out, boy.
I'm already cold. I don't know why. I guess I have the pre-effects of this cold. But yeah, this is The Monster Squad.
All right, it's directed by Fred Decker, written by Fred Decker and Shane Black, produced by Jonathan A. Zimbert, cinematography by Bradford May, edited by James Mitchell, musical score by Bruce Broughton. And what did you think of the score?
I like it. I don't like the Monster Squad rap. That's
Yeah,
1980s, but the score itself is good.
yeah, it
I
ain't
don't have a
bad.
problem with it. I found it on Apple Music and was listening to it.
It's sort of gothic for sure.
Yeah, it doesn't really fit the movie very well, but it's a good score.
No, it would fit it more if it was like just a Frankenstein movie.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah. Color process by Metrocolor. Production companies are Taft Entertainment Pictures and Keith Barish Productions. Distributed by TriStar Pictures. And it was released on August 14th, 1987. Has a running time of 82 minutes. Country of origin, United States. English language. Had a budget of $14 million.
It's a pretty big budget,
Yeah, guess how much it made at the box office?
about 2 million.
3.8. So
Yeah, I knew it was a flop.
flop for sure.
It was a flop.
Well, I think it was going up up against a couple other bigger
Yeah, The
releases.
Lost Boys came out like a weekend or two before
Yeah, that's probably what killed it. So
because Kiefer Sutherland was at one of the premieres trying to promote the movie because I guess they were a little worried about that.
yeah. All right, Carl, go ahead and give the plot of this movie here.
Okay, so this movie begins 100 years ago. It's Professor Van Helsing and his crew are attacking, I guess it's Dracula's castle, trying to destroy Dracula and the monsters. The monsters we will go ahead and name include the Mummy, Frankenstein, uh, Wolfman, and Gillman. So they're having this big battle. They open some portal to the future, and the next thing you know, you're in the, well, 1987 modern day.
Yeah.
And we're introduced to two nitwit kids um, who are big horror movie fans, and they are messing with the little chunky fat kid who's their buddy, but they're trying to bully him. So the cool middle school kid rides up on a bicycle smoking a cigarette. Now that is how the 1980s really were, people.
Yeah.
That is how it
Sure.
was, and he makes them tells them to leave him
I
alone.
think
And
I think everybody at every school had that one kid.
that one, yeah. So he makes them all act right. And well, it turns out they're in the Monster Squad together, which is clubhouse, treehouse. Um, but little sister's not allowed in there because girls aren't allowed, and she's not happy with that. She's about 5.
Yeah.
So they're deciding the chunky kid and the other two whether they should let the cool middle school kid in because he's older than them. And then we'll go to his dad is a cop, and crazy dude shows up at the police station claiming he is the Wolf Man or a werewolf, and they don't believe him. So there's the Wolf Man right there. So yeah, he turns into him. So they shoot him, and they're taking him to the morgue, and he goes ahead and transfers into the Wolf Man. In the meantime, there's this creepy German guy living in this house, and they're all scared of him. Well, it gets worse because Dracula is coming to town on a plane, and he's stolen Frankenstein monster's body and drops it to the ground. It lands in the swamp. He turns into a bat, flies down there, gets Frankenstein, gets the Gill Man. They go find the mummy at the museum, and damned if we got the universal monsters. And the only people who can protect the world from them are these kids, the Monster Squad. And
Yeah.
one little note Frankenstein gets loose and comes across the little girl, which is very reminiscent of the original
Yep.
Frankenstein.
I think they
But
did that as a nod to
they
it for
did,
sure.
but he decides he doesn't want to scare her, that he wants to be her best friend.
Yep.
So she grabs him by the hand and takes him to her brother and the buddies and says, "Can I join the Monster Squad now? Look who I got." Boom. Frankenstein. And that is the Monster Squad. It will be Monster Squad versus Universal Monsters, although we cannot call them the Universal Monsters for some damn reason. TriStar distributed this thing, which was a subsidy of Columbia Pictures, now
Yeah.
Sony.
Yeah. Universal wasn't gonna have nothing to do with it.
Universal didn't want nothing to do with it, which is stupid on Universal's part. That's why they failed their classic monsters just over and over again, because they don't do anything right with them. Now we got this Wolfman coming out this weekend, done by Bloomberg.
Oh, geez. Yeah,
I might go see it.
we seen the preview for it.
Lisa wants to see it, so we'll
Oh
see.
yeah, it might not be that bad.
So this is the only thing I can say would have been better is if it was really done by Universal, but it was not. But they do a really good job of the monsters and
Yeah,
all that
Stan
fun stuff.
Winston did the makeup and effects in this. So
It's mostly I guess it's all practical effects too.
yeah,
So they do a pretty good job making the monsters look pretty real to what they should look like, especially the Gill Man.
yeah, he looked
So
really good. All
So
right,
before we go into anything else, honestly, I've always viewed this movie sort of as the Goonies versus Universal monsters. That's not a bad thing. It's not degrading it. It's a fun 1980s movie, and all these Stranger Things and all these dumbass shows that are trying to mock the 80s. This really is a 1980s kid versus monster movie. So if you haven't ever seen it and you're a big fan of Stranger Things or even the Pennywise It Clown movies, this is the real deal right here. This is a 1980s flick that they're all trying to replicate.
yep. All right, I guess we'll go over the cast.
Do it.
First off, we got Andre Gower as Sean Crenshaw. He's like the main kid protagonist, I guess.
He's the leader of the Monster Squad
Yeah,
and the older brother to the little sister.
yeah. Robbie Kiger as Patrick Rhodes, and he played the little kid in Children of the Corn.
He did.
Yeah. Next we got Stephen Mocht as Detective Del Crenshaw. He's been in a few things too. He's a pretty well-known actor. Duncan Regehr as Count Dracula. What do you think of his portrayal of?
He did okay. I mean, it was okay.
Okay.
I mean, there was somebody else supposed to play Dracula, but I can't remember who it was.
Liam Neeson.
I don't know how that would have went. I think they're better with this dude.
That's one little nugget of trivia right there that I won't
Yeah,
have to go
yeah.
into. Yeah, Liam
Okay, well,
Neeson, but he actually did get a part in it, but they cut it out.
okay.
They did do a
So
scene with him, but they cut it out. So
I guess he did an adequate job. I wouldn't say he did a great job. He didn't do a bad job.
next we got Tom Noonan as Frankenstein's monster, and he did an awesome job, I
He
think.
did. Yeah. One of the better Frankensteins, maybe.
Brent Callum as Horace. He was the chubby kid. Next we got Ryan Lambert as Rudolph Rudy Holleran. He was like the I guess you'd say like troublemaker kid or whatever.
Yeah, the middle schooler that smoked a cigarette on a bicycle
Yeah, yeah.
and gets him a girlfriend.
Next we got Ashley Bank as Phoebe Crenshaw. She's the 5-year-old sister of Sean, and she did such a good job in this movie.
She did indeed.
She was probably my favorite character in the whole thing, for sure. Michael Faustino as Eugene. And what show was he in? uh, Wonder Years. He played the
Yeah,
big brother.
you're right. Yep.
He was one of the bullies. Jonathan Cries as Desperate Man, the Wolf Man. Why do they call him the Desperate Man?
Because he was showing up at the police department, sort of, I guess he was
Desperate.
desperate to get him to keep him from turning into a wolf man, I guess.
All right, Mary Ellen Trainor as Emily Crenshaw. That's the mom. Leonardo Cimino as Scary German Guy. I guess that's the guy in the house.
It was, yeah.
Stan Shaw as Detective Rich Staper. Lisa Fuller as Lisa Rhodes. Carl Trimble as the Wolfman. Tom Woodruff Jr. as the Gill Man. And you know who he is also?
Who?
He was like what's his name? Stan Winston's like understudy, and he also did all the effects like on he did the Frankenstein monster on this
Oh, okay.
and make up for it. So he's a makeup guy. And we got some tidbits about how he got the part doing the Gill Man here after a bit. Michael Reed McKay as the Mummy. Jack Gwillem as Abraham Van Helsing. Adam Carl as Derek. Jesse Hervey as EJ. David Proval as the pilot. Daryl Anderson as the co-pilot.
Yeah, they're the ones that were carting the Frankenstein monster and
Yeah, they were
Dracula to
they were
town.
funny. Mary Albee as Vampire Bride number 1. Bryn Barron as Vampire Bride number 2. Julie Merrill as Vampire Bride number 3. And last but not least, Charlie Morgan as Vampire Bride number 4. She was the one with the possum.
Yes, he didn't have the boss.
Oh, shit. And that is the cast of The Monster Squad.
Yeah, we don't want to confuse it with that dumb show.
Did you try watching it?
No, I
Oh, you
just
gotta
pulled
just
up.
check it out, dude. And even if you turn it off in the first 5 minutes, you just got to see it.
I just went and searched for my Monster Squad Blu-ray, which was right where it was supposed to be, unlike um Trauma. That was 2 weeks ago.
Oh shit. Too much crazy shit going on.
There is.
It was won and nominated for a couple of
Yes,
awards
it
here.
was. It was.
2025 nominee for coming up here for the Saturn Award for Best 4K Home Media Release. 2008 winner Saturn Award for Best DVD Classic Film Release. 88 nominee for the Saturn Award for Best Supporting Actor Derek Reger. 88 nominee for Saturn Award for Best Performance by a Young Actor Andrew Gower. 88 nominee for Saturn Award Best Music for Bruce Broughton. Well, that's cool.
I like that music.
And the 88 nominee Saturn Award for Best Costumes for Michael W. Hoffman and Aggie Lyon. And then it won the Silver Raven Award at the Brussels International Film Festival for 1988. Fred Decker director. And that is the awards for this film. Did you say you got the Blu-ray or?
Yeah, so the story behind the Monster Squad and the home releases, it had obviously was out on VHS, and there was a pretty crappy DVD, I think, that was out. I don't remember the whole story about it, but 20 years later, they finally released it. Well, this is the Blu-ray, but they released a 20-year anniversary DVD, which was actually released by Lionsgate. And I guess Sony didn't want nothing to do with it. So this thing really blew everybody away because it was so good as far as the picture quality, a lot of special features, and it really was something the fans demanded, and we finally got. And this actual version right here is no longer in print, and it's for sale on Amazon for $50. So, pretty valuable disc right here.
Hmm.
But it's got two audio commentaries, and then it's got a little retrospective where they're all talking about it. Um, really, really good Blu-ray. They came out on Blu-ray a few years after the DVD, and that was really happy to get it. It still looks really, really good on Blu-ray. It's clear as a bell, and is now out on 4K, which Kino Lorber released, I guess, not that long ago. Um, they it's a 2K on Blu-ray, 4K on the 4K Blu-ray, but they also put out a documentary for this. Wolfman or Werewolf has nards, I believe it's called. But
Oh, the
this
documentary.
it was a documentary that one of the
Yeah, it's on something. I've seen it. It's I guess they have their own convention and shit
yeah,
too.
but the documentary has been panned by a lot of people for being not very good. So I never saw it, but I was debating once you mentioned this movie if I wanted to go ahead and order that 4K, but I chose not to because I think this is perfect for it. I don't think I need a 4K version of it, and I'm not interested in that documentary. But it is out there on 4K. It's $30 on Amazon. You can still get, I think there's an Kino released a Blu-ray only version, which doesn't have some of the special features, and it's very reasonable. So, and it's also on Amazon Prime for
Yeah,
free.
yeah, they just put it on there too because I was looking
Yes.
for it for a while and you couldn't find it to watch it nowhere.
Yeah,
That's why I
it's
rent that. Well, that's where I found that stupid TV show looking
I
for
don't
that.
know if well now Sony then TriStar if they like gave up the rights to this film or what. But I don't know how Lionsgate ended up with releasing it, but now the Kino has it out. But it's available, easy to get now. It was hard to find um, up till you know the 20th anniversary of the movie, so it was very much a cult classic.
Yeah,
And
that's
but it's
probably what
now,
drove it into cult classic status was not being able to find it nowhere.
yeah. Um, again, I mentioned I wish they could have somehow got with Universal and done this thing with them, but it didn't happen. They mentioned the director that he was a little disappointed in TriStar and the way that they distributed the film and didn't act like they really cared a lot about it. So I don't know why this film wasn't huge in the 80s. It probably should have been. It just didn't come out at the right time. Like you said, I know had some competition from I think it was Lost Boys.
That might
Um,
some of that might be in the trivia here when I get
yeah,
into
we'll
that.
we'll go ahead and hit the trivia, but I don't have the 4K, but I'll tell you what, even though this is out of print, this is a very pristine copy of this movie, and it's the features are great in it. I know Kino has ported all these special features to their 4K slash Blu-ray edition. It's $30, but if you really want to see this movie, you might want to look at investing in that copy because you know how I am about supporting physical media. So that's
All
my
right.
take on that. Definitely glad to have this out where you can watch it now, and I'm glad Amazon put it out as well, so get a bigger, broader audience to bring this somewhat forgotten piece of history back to this light again.
Well, for as unpopular it was, I'm surprised that as many fans as there is, that they got their own uh what do you call it? Convention and stuff about it.
I just don't know how it was that unpopular. It's just I don't know. And like you said,
I
now
don't
we
I
got
really
the
I don't either, but like I said, I didn't watch many movies that around that
yeah.
time, so uh yeah.
I don't know. I think it really hurt it that Universal wasn't involved in it. But I don't know that it hurt the movie as far as the way they made it. I don't think they needed Universal. I think
No.
they did a perfect job without them, as far as the effects and the monsters go. But maybe the release part, yeah, I don't know, why it was such a disappointment at the box office.
All right, I guess we'll get into trivia here. The scene where Dracula lifts Phoebe up and she screams was done in one take.
Mm-hmm.
Duncan Regar wouldn't wear his red contacts or fangs around the 5-year-old because it scared her too much. For the scene, director Fred Decker just told Ashley to scream once the platform raised her up. When she asked when,
You'll know.
he said, "You'll know," and proceeded to shoot. The terrified scream you hear when Dracula opens his eyes is Ashley's genuine scream of fright.
Yeah, she's scared of the red contacts. Poor little kid.
According to Fred Decker and Shane Black's first draft of the screenplay was so huge that the opening of the film featured Van Helsing accompanied by zeppelins and hundreds of men on horseback storming Dracula's castle. Decker stated that this sequence would have cost more than the final budget of the film.
Yeah. There was talk of a remake of this a few years ago, but it never happened.
Yeah, it's one of them fake things or whatever.
No, it was legit. They were
Oh, it
looking
was
at remaking
legit.
it. It just
Okay.
never came through.
Fruition.
That's the word. I've been up since 3:30. I can't think straight.
Oh no. Near the start of the movie, the plane where Dracula first appears has Browning written on the side of the airplane as a nod to director Todd Browning, who directed Dracula in 1931. Liam Neeson was paid for a bit part that was never shot. Guess
That's
the
sad.
uh,
I don't remember Liam Neeson until Darkman though.
what was that movie he was in with Patrick
Schindler's
Swayze?
List.
No, Patrick Swayze, where
Oh, I have no clue. He went from
next
Darkman
of
to Schindler's
kin,
List is all I know.
next of kin. That was it.
Never heard of it. I just
Let's see
remember he was
here.
Darkman, and then he was a big, huge, like Academy Award winning actor after that.
Actor Brent Chalem, who portrayed Horace, the fat kid, tragically died of pneumonia in 1997. That's not good. We already talked about that with the licensing issues. The Wolfman's face was molded after that as Stan Winston himself. What'd you think of the werewolf?
Sort of forgetful.
Yeah, he wasn't. Yeah.
He wasn't as
Uh,
cool as the other monsters.
no. Uh,
Yeah, I think that he'd have been the weaker of the bunch. I think Mummy and Gilman definitely had him.
and I'm surprised this thing was rated only PG-13.
Yeah, no, it's
It's pretty gory in a couple of spots, and
well,
you know,
what I was going to mention is a lot of the language from the 80s that we talked in 1980 that now would be considered so taboo. Just
yeah,
shit
exactly.
talking. The way we shit talked in the 80s, you're no longer allowed to use those words anymore. So I find that sort of funny that again, it's a very, really, really, really 80s movie. And if you live through it, you can chuckle and say, yep, that's how we used to talk and call each other. Now you get thrown in jail for that,
Yeah.
but not
Uh,
Facebook jail anymore. You're free now. Freedom. Zuckerberg has issued the freedom to everybody on Facebook,
yeah, we'll see how
and
that goes.
and TikTok's dying as a Sunday.
Yeah, I wonder if that's gonna happen or
They say China's gonna pull it, so I don't know.
hmm.
Back to
According
the movie after our political commentary.
according to director Fred Decker, Film was cut by 13 minutes because the executives didn't want it to run more than 90 minutes long.
Yeah, it's a short movie.
Uh, Andre Gower and Robbie Kiger were friends in real life before filming. Gower campaigned to have the producers hire Kiger in the best friend role of Patrick. So,
Well, that's really a cool story there.
you know. In 2006, Wizard magazine made a list of the 100 greatest villains of all time. Dracula was ranked as number 30 on the list, but surprisingly, it was for Duncan Regehr's performance in the film.
He's pretty villainous in this thing.
Yeah,
He's a bad Dracula.
yes, he is. Seth Green screen tested for a role and even read with Andre Gower, who was cast as Sean, and the two became good friends.
That's neat to know.
I watched an episode of oh, what the hell is it? Never mind, I can't think of it now. But anyway, he was in it and he played this little stoner kid. It was funny. But anyway.
That's usually what he always played. Now he just does what, like voice work and
Isn't he a voice of some cartoon or something?
yeah, some kind of chicken, I think.
Robot chicken?
Robot
Is
chicken.
that it?
I guess I have no fucking clue. I remember him from Buffy.
There are at least two versions of Michael Sambello's end credit song. In some versions dating back to the VHS release days, there's a lyric referring to the Gill Man swimming in the pool. As of 2007, in the recent HD cable release, this is replaced simply by The Creature from the Black Lagoon.
That is what is on the Apple Music version.
Oh, yeah?
It says Creature of the, and I'm like, well, I guess Universal can't sue somebody over a song, so
Yeah.
Universal's, damn them. I get mad every time we get into that stuff, the way they've let the Universal Monsters legacy die.
Come September, they're free. They're
Not all of them.
free.
Not all of them.
Just the
Black Lagoon didn't come out to the 50s, so
up to the 40s or
no, I think it's just the Flathead Frankenstein.
oh.
They never owned Dracula.
All right. Has the same what's this? Has the same dead guys do not get up and walk away themselves line followed by a shot of a dead guy walking down a street as in Night of the Creeps from 1986. Also written and directed by Fred Decker.
That's not a movie I'm a fan of.
I don't even know if I've seen it, dude, to be honest
I
with
have.
you.
I used to have it on DVD and I sold it off.
Sold it off.
I
And
sold
there's
it
been a
off.
bunch of sequels to it too.
Yeah, I think you're right. I don't remember. Sometimes I just agree with you and I don't, and you're wrong sometimes. So I hate to agree with you. Like, who was it you
I
killed
don't know if
off that
there
ain't
is or
dead?
not. Huh?
You killed somebody off and they weren't even dead.
Oh, I know. Oh well. They haven't died yet, so that's a plus. Ashley Bank turned on a role in Fatal Attraction from 1987 to play Phoebe.
Interesting.
She probably should have took the Fatal Attraction.
Maybe so.
Oh. During the montage with the Monster Squad getting ready to stop Dracula, Sean points at where Shadow Brick Road is on the map to show his friend Patrick where the mansion Dracula's hiding out is. On the other side of the map, it says Cheney College as a location on the map. This is an homage to Lon Chaney Jr., who played Lawrence Larry Talbot in Universal's The Wolf Man. There was a lot of nods.
There's a lot of nods, yes. There is, I don't know if you got a trivia on this, but something to point out the quote crazy German guy. Um, when the kids get him to help them read the Van Helsing's book, as they're leaving, they're talking about having to fight monsters, and he says, "I've faced many monsters," and it shows on his arm he had a tattoo that
Oh
he'd been
yeah,
in a
concentration
prison
camp. Yeah,
concentration camp. So the crazy German guy, he actually that sort of a sad part of the movie that as a kid I would have never caught, but I caught it big time
yeah.
watching it.
I noticed
Actually,
that
this
when I
morning
watched it.
I watched it this morning.
Oh,
So, but yeah, I thought that there's a lot of little hidden notes in this movie,
yeah,
little nods. That's a sad one, but sort of poetic since they were scared he was this crazy Nazi guy. Well, he wasn't.
no. There is a poster for the Return of the Living Dead from 1985 visible on the wall of the clubhouse. That clubhouse was cool, man. I wish I would have had a clubhouse when I was like that growing up. That would have been cool, man.
You would have probably been the stoner middle school kid smoking
Pro-
the cigarette.
Probably, yeah.
Brett showed me a high school picture of his the other day.
Freshman year, oh my God.
He looked like he was stoned out of off his ass.
Oh shit. Dustin Diamond had a small role as a kid who tries to trade baseball cards with the boys, but it was later cut out of the film.
Yeah, I don't know how that would have been relevant.
He would have been little then.
Mm-hmm. Tragic story that Dustin Diamond stuff.
Yeah.
Bob knew him pretty well.
Yeah, he was in the. He's got videos of him in the drive-through at the
The
fucking
Jack in the
Jack in the
Box.
Box.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Mary Ellen Trainor, who portrays the mother of the lead siblings, also plays the mother of the lead siblings in The Goonies from 1985. Do you think a lot of people thought that they was sort of trying to rip off the Goonies on this? Because that was a
Yeah.
big hit, you know?
Yeah, I think a lot of people thought that. I'm covering up with a Ouija board here. Sorry. I'm freezing. Yeah, I think a lot of people thought this was a rip off of Goonies,
Maybe that's
including me, and I didn't really call it a rip off. It's just very similar.
there's a poster for the Lucio Fulci film Zombie from 1979 visible in the background of the clubhouse.
Boy, these kids were some horror fans, weren't they?
Yeah. I guess they built a special uh controller for the puppets that they used in this. It was
Yeah,
like the first one they could use where they only needed one person to like move the fingers like on hands and stuff. They could actually move all 10 fingers at the same time with one person. Before it would take a person for each finger.
yeah.
So they designed a contraption to do that for this film. Let's see. This movie came out 6 months after another movie written by Shane Black, Lethal Weapon. You big Lethal Weapon fan?
Never was really.
Really, I love the first couple of them, and then I think it went downhill.
I'd rather watch Miami Vice.
What?
Yeah,
Oh
and cop
shit.
buddy movies, and
Both actors of this film, Mary Ellen Trainor and Robert Lesser, would go co-star again 1 year later in the movie Die Hard.
not a fan of the Die Hard series either.
Yeah, they had to throw this in. This movie is not, and they capitalized not, based on or a remake of the Monster Squad TV series from 1976.
You fell into that trap.
Oh shit. Ryan Lambert, who plays Rudy, was an ordained Lutheran minister and officiated actor Frank Stallone's wedding. Wonder what he's doing now.
I don't know.
Uh, J.C. Hervey wears a Walter Payton t-shirt in this movie, while his on-screen brother from the Wonder Years, Fred Savage, wears a Walter Payton jersey in The Princess Bride. Now that's a movie I was never a fan of. The Princess Bride, not a
People
fan.
either love that movie or they hate it. There's no
Uh,
in between.
yeah, not a fan. Mary Ellen Trainor also starred as LAPD psychiatrist Dr. Stephanie Woods in the Lethal Weapon films. The website Movie Insider retrofitted the page for Platinum Dunes remake to this movie. I thought you said they didn't remake it.
They did not remake it.
Well, I wonder what that's all about.
They were supposed to remake it, but it never happened.
All right.
Platinum Dooms is I can't think of his name that did the Transformer. Michael Bay, that's his company.
Oh, okay.
Remember, he was doing remakes of horror movies. He did Chainsaw and several others. Really
Oh,
good
yeah.
job on all of them. And that he was going to Platinum Bay's his thing, and they never
Ah,
got it made. So they were planning on it. So that's probably why the web page got changed around.
they probably already had a, uh, yeah.
Yeah. So
The
I
mom
wish they
come,
had a. I wish
huh?
they had a remade it. I think it would have been cool as shit.
Yeah, especially if Michael Bay did it.
Yeah.
The mom comforts Phoebe by placing a lit candle next to her bed, telling her that nothing bad can happen as long as it's there. Later in the movie, a candle blows out just before Dracula crashes into their house like a bolt of lightning. Didn't he hit it with that hearse he was driving?
I think so. Then we had the one where the little kid goes to his dad, there's a monster in my closet. So he goes, there's no monsters in here. And the mummy's standing right there.
Yep. He didn't. He opened the
He didn't
door and
look in the
couldn't see it.
closet. He looked everywhere else.
He just opened the door and there's the
Yeah.
kids. Kids seen it.
Yeah. Mummy was in the closet.
Yep. Oh shit. Sean wears a T-shirt in the beginning of the film that states Stephen King rules.
He did. Yes.
Stephen Mock, Sean's father in the film, stars 3 years later in Grave Shift, written by Stephen King. And that's about all the trivia I got. So,
That's a good amount of trivia for this. I'm pretty pleased with it.
and SpongeBob wasn't involved.
Thank effing God.
Oh, all right, Carl.
You go first
You
this
want me to
time
go
since
first?
you never seen it before, so I want your unbiased opinion
Well, it's your typical 80s campy kid show with violence is the only thing I can say.
with words that are no longer allowed to be used.
Yep, yep, yep. Uh, and it was cinematography and stuff was awesome in it, I thought. Stan Winston did an awesome job on the creatures in this for sure.
Oh, by far, yeah.
And even the mummy looked cool,
Yeah, it's hard to make a mummy look cool.
but
Sometimes they look pretty dorky.
like I said, I'd never seen this before until the other night. And I don't know. I'm gonna give it a 3.5. I'm gonna go midway. Midway, a little over midway.
It's not your kind of movie, really.
It's supposed to be. I like a good horror comedy. I don't dislike it. It's I'm just like middle of the road on it.
Yeah, I'm just saying, I didn't expect you to think it was like the greatest movie ever when you said you was ready to watch it. I expected about a 3 from you.
Yeah, everybody did a good job, the actor wise and stuff. But it wasn't so campy. It was stupid.
No.
Everybody, good script and stuff on this. Screenplay. So yeah, I'll give it a 3.5. What the heck?
Well, now, I was a fan of this movie from when I was a kid, I believe. I don't know when I ever saw it the first time, but I remember it. I remember it sort of like disappeared. And I remember the first time I saw it, this would have probably been, I don't know, probably 20 years ago. And I'm like, man, that movie was dumb. But now watching it again, it's good memories. I think it's aged pretty well. Like I keep pointing out, it's what everybody wants to see. You know, a bunch of teenagers fighting monsters. That's what's in vogue now. So it's exactly what it's supposed to be. And they did a great job with it all. I mean, it's campy, but it's fun. It's scary in parts. It's acted well. I think it holds up really good as for what it is, which is a 1980s movie. It's exactly what it's supposed to be, and I think it's good for what it is. Not the best movie ever made, certainly not the worst. I would probably give this thing about a 4 actually,
Okay.
because I think it's a solid movie. If this is the genre you like, you know, and or if you're a younger person who likes Stranger Things or yeah, there it is, Monster Squad. Watch it. I'd recommend this 100%. I think everybody ought to give this a watch. Um,
Well, after watching it,
it's fun.
I couldn't understand why it wasn't a bigger hit than it was,
I
you know?
I always thought it was because of Universal. That's what I blamed it on when I was younger, and I still do. That maybe they put the squaff on it more than we knew.
And probably, like
And they said try start it and promote it.
didn't promote it, and other movies that became big hits where they like shoved it right in the middle of them movies.
I
'Cause
think there was some talk that Touchstone, which was Disney's one of their subsidies, was gonna release it, and they thought that they would have done a lot better job of promoting it if they had of. But yeah, I think
possibly,
everybody, if you're a horror fan or an '80s retro fan, should watch this. Um,
definitely.
it's Goonies versus the Universal monsters. That's how I describe it, and that's exactly what it is, and that's not a bad thing.
No,
So I give this movie the highest watch value, and it again, it still holds up for what exactly what it is. So yeah,
all right, a
will I buy it
four
on
then.
4K? I doubt it. I think I'm going to keep this copy, even though I can sell it for $50. But yeah, I don't think I'm going to upgrade it to a 4K.
Well, it
Don't
seems
think
like
it's
the
necessary.
hype has gone up in the last couple of years about
It
this movie
has. It
too.
has.
And I think
It's very hyped up.
I'll wait and see if the price on the Blu-ray goes down a little bit
I was a
before.
fan of this movie before it was cool, I guess you could say.
So,
Because I always, as a kid, you know, me and my friends were always thinking that we were like some kind of wizards and gonna go fight monsters and stuff. So, you know, I had my own little monster squad going as a younger kid. Me and my nephews thought that we were fighting the Phantom and all kinds of fun shit. That's just how the '80s was. We didn't have
yeah,
iPads, we didn't have YouTube,
you had
TikTok.
to go
We had,
outside.
we had to go outside and make up our own fun, and usually it involved fighting a monster in my world.
Yeah.
We always so this was sort of me, you know, except these monsters turned to be real. So yeah, thumbs up to Monster Squad. I can't say nothing bad about it. Love it.
All righty. Well,
It's my kind of thing.
I guess that's all we got for the Monster Squad.
I guess
Uh,
so.
thanks everybody for watching and listening.
And you did a
And
midweek this time.
yeah, I did do a midweek. What did everybody think of that? I was out of practice and I fucked some shit up. I know I did. So, oh
I
well. You
honestly
might
didn't
get one
know it
every
all.
month if
I
you're
was just
lucky.
kind of skimming through it, but hey, that orchestra fucking album they did, I love it, man. That's
Yeah,
some good score music right there. If more of those death or not death, but black metal bands would do that with no vocals, I think they'd be better off.
yeah. Well,
So
yeah.
praises to Brett for doing a midweek. Now I've got 2 album reviews in the can. I don't know when we're ever going to release those.
When we're desperate, I guess.
One's a really good episode.
Well, good. Well, maybe we'll throw it out here next month if I'm
And we've had a
lazy
few
again.
people ask about doing an evil talk again.
Yeah, we have. We might do that next week
We just might.
because a couple of things have come up in the last week or so that we could probably talk about
Uh-oh.
music wise and shit.
Yeah, we got to get more back into music a little bit, I think.
We were talking about one of them, I think, the other day. But anyway,
Exodus.
yeah, the Exodus thing. We can give our 2 cents in on that thing.
We definitely could. So that's all for this week, folks.
All right. Thanks for watching, listening. Hit that like and subscribe, and check us out on all the social medias except probably
TikTok. It may be gone by the time you watch this.
It may be gone Sunday. That's when its death date is Sunday.
We have zero presence on TikTok anyway.
I just put the shows on there, and that's it. I don't do nothing else.
You need to spend more time with the X. I think you could get somewhere with that.
Maybe. Who knows?
You know,
All right, everybody.
I'm a big fan of X, so
we'll talk to y'all later. Stay evil.
You know who to call when you have ghosts. But who do you call when you have monsters?
We're the Monster Squad. What's a squad? It's like Miami Vice, I think.
They're young and inexperienced.
Naughty virgin.
They're a bit disorganized.
Monsters are not real.
We don't know that, sir.
2,000-year-old dead guys do not get up and walk away by themselves.
But when strange things start happening in town...
There's a monster in my closet.
Whoa! Look at that big, scary monster!
What's happening? Two ways to kill a werewolf.
Silver bullet?
they're the only ones ready to do battle.
Something's out there that's killing people. And if it's monsters, nobody's gonna do a thing about it but us.
Soon the creatures of the night shall rule the world.
Real monsters? Us? Midnight. In the world, remember? Maybe we can be like Mask Squad instead, you know? Two mask bombs.
We got 1035, sit back up, hurry up!
Or Nature Squad. The book was right. Don't you think it's all true?
By midnight,
You guys!
they won't seem so young anymore. The Monster Squad.
Wolfman's got me!